welcome to Political Quickie, your political show that subjectively discusses political headlines in South Africa and all around the world. My name is Mapa Sikamura. You know what? It seems that our justice system, sometimes when the public spotlight is on it, does the right things. Do you guys remember the coffin assault? I hope you do, because it is the very first story that we subjectively discussed right here on yours truly Political Quickie. So we were sad then, but now we are happy. Now we celebrate it because justice has been served on a silver platter. The perpetrators, Theo Jackson and Willem Oosthuizen, were sentenced to 14 years and 11 years in prison respectively. So I feel like, sometimes the justice system just does the right things. In this case, it did the right things. It's crazy because in a country that was literally built on racial injustice, 20 plus years later, we get to have our justice system say no. Crimes that are based on racial injustice will not be tolerated in this country. We are just not having that. Not with our constitution. We are not having it. So yes, justice system, you are alright. You are alright. No. Justice system, you're amazing. You're amazing. This time around. Yes. Moving right along to other news, however, staying on the African continent, Zimbabwe has a minister of Watsapp. Yeah, a minister with Watsapp. No, actually, I'm kidding. But that's what they jokingly referring to him as. So Mugabe has, established a whole new ministry, the Ministry of Cybersecurity, Threat Detection and Mitigation. Yes. So apparently this was set up because, a new threat is rising up against the state that is based on bullying and abuse. Yeah, no. So when initially I heard of this ministry, I just thought of the secrecy bill. I was like, oh my god, the secrecy bill. Oh my goodness, right? Hey, yes. So you guys might remember that secrecy bill that was almost passed into law by our government, by our parliament, that is, that was literally limiting freedom of speech. And this is dictatorship behavior. Luckily they didn't. The president sent it back to the National Assembly to, hoy the situation and cook it some more. So it hasn't been passed as law. Hope it won't be passed as law because it restricts the freedom of expression. So I feel like dictatorship vibes, Zimbabwe, come on. Like, when all of this end? Like, really? Literally where Mugabe is trying to criminalize any opinions that you might have of him or his regime. So if you come out there and be like, nah, you can't do that, then you will be silenced. Unfortunately, you'll be silenced. So no, this is not right. This ain't good. Why on earth do we still have dictatorships in the 21st century? In 2017, it's beyond me. I don't get it. And on international news, as the state capture situation in South Africa gets even more bizarre with exposés and cigarette rings, the probe into the Trump and Russia collusion is getting a bit more serious. With people being charged. So 3 guys were charged. Paul Manafort, who was a former campaign manager of that whole Trump campaign, and 2 aides, Rick Gates and George Papadopoulos. I know, what, the surnames of these, I don't know. So Rick and Paul were charged, among other accusations, with conspiracy against the U.S. Very, very serious. They pleaded not guilty, of course. They're still gonna appear in court. They're gonna have their day in court. And then Georgiana, Mr. Papadopoulos. Hey, I can say it right. Oh my gosh. I hope I'm saying it right. Well, George pleaded guilty with charges against him. Apparently, he lied. He lied to the FBI. He lied to the FBI about communications he had with a professor in London about information that the professor claimed to have that was damaging to Hillary Clinton. No, it's getting thicker and thicker, and it's getting crazier and crazier. I feel like South Africa, you are always copying the US with everything. Idols, and all these things that you like copying them with. So why don't you just copy them in terms of the situation and just start charging corrupt politicians as well? And you can just take them to prison, start acting, do something, follow the US like you always do. Anyways, moving right along to on the side note, on the side. There's no lucky word today, it's rather a caution. Just want to say, let's keep ourselves full in here. We all have a base, we all have an anchor, something that contributes to the way that we think, to our perception, to the way we react to things. That's all from our base, whatever that thing is, that core of ours. The truth is, we constantly need to feed that thing. And depending on your spiritual practice, for me, I'm Christian, and my spiritual practice is praying, is worship, is meditation, is just going in deep, right? So if I don't keep myself full of those things, then there is a disturbance. My campus gets all disorientated in a way because I am not full, and I can't give. Because you can't give if you're not full and overflowing. That's when you actually give unintentionally, when you're full of that base power and you're able to just, like a glass, like offer water, air it, just offer water. Yeah. So it's very essential to ensure that in here you are always full and you're never empty, so that I feel like a lot of issues flow from that. A lot of troubles flow from emptiness. When we're empty in here and we're not filled with the right things. And sometimes we're full, but we're full with the wrong things. So it's just important to keep check and to ensure that whatever that's in here, whatever that's your core, your guidance, your direction, is actually filled with the right things. Yes. Be the right things. Do the right things. Anyways, oh my gosh, this is actually the second last episode of the season. Just caution that next week will be the very, very last episode of the season. So I love you guys. You're awesome. Use your talents to serve humanity. Please subscribe to the channel. Please share the videos. Do not keep them to yourselves. That is selfish. You are selfish if you if you do that. I'm just saying. Go out there. Do not be selfish. Love a lot. Be awesome. I love you guys. See you next week, Tuesday.